Welcome to Fresh Tech Tips. I am Derrell Norris, CEO of Fresh Tech Solutions, and today I have my awesome business partners with me.
Hello, Derrell. I'm Nicholas and Basler Daniel, y'all. Founder of Aegis Project Management LLC. Sorry, I couldn't talk today.
And I am Dr. Doug Franklin, CEO and co-founder of Deck Launch LLC. Happy Monday, fellas. How'd your weekend go?
Weekend was great. Had to get away, but I'm back and I'm here and I'm ready to work. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good, man. I'm sure you went away from the city safely, came back safely. So I'm glad to see you. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing pretty well. Sitting here nice and refreshed. Congratulations to the students at the University of St. Thomas that did the winter walk this weekend. That's why I had to throw up the graffiti in the back. I wish I had a funny Santa Claus or something like that, but this is well worth it. Congratulations to the graduates over at UST.
Awesome.
And so today's Fresh Tech Tip topic is year-end closeout. It's about that time. As 2020 comes to an end, it's more important than ever to make sure that you go into 2021 right. So, Nick, hit us with one of these beautiful definitions of yours.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to just touch on when we say year-end closeout, what we mean by the end of the year. So it doesn't mean your calendar year. It means your fiscal year, which means for most businesses, when you registered your business to get whatever entity it is, you had an option to choose when your fiscal year would be. So it's usually one of the quarters. So either it ends on March 31st, June 30th, September 30th, or December 31st. So which means then your fiscal year will start on the day after that. So you need to first know what your fiscal year is. If you don't know, there's a way to find out on your tax information. And then once you know that, then you understand how to strategize. So the reason why I mentioned that is if your fiscal year actually ends June 30th, then if you're doing year-end closeout stuff on December 31st, it's not going to work out for you. So you need to understand what your fiscal year is for your business so that you can strategize properly. And then the next thing we're going to say is the reason why it's important to close out the year is, of course, you want to wrap up everything that you've been doing, everything that you've been building on, things that need to be moved on to the next year that need to be carried over. So you just want to make sure you're putting yourself in the best position to start off the new year as well as possible.
Absolutely, and I think that I echo everybody's sentiments where we've talked a little bit about how 2020 has been tough for all of us. This is the best time, even though you're going to have to do some reflecting, and some of that stuff may be a little bit painful. This is the greatest time for you to be able to kickstart yourself and give yourself an early Christmas present by making sure that you have everything ready to go for the next year.
Oh, definitely. So another thing that I want to touch on was actually, how do we close out your finances? How do you, get ahead of that, Doug?
So I mean, it's a little bit about what your accountant does. But one of the things you could do is just make sure that you have everything tight with regards to your income, your expenses, and your account receivables. And so with your income and expenses, that's pretty easy. You should be getting all of those statements together that you have for your accountant. If you don't use an accountant or you don't use a service, then make sure that you have everything in the same place. Like, this is a great time for you to be able to do something like that. Maybe because you have a little bit of downtime right now while you're getting presents for your kids and things of that nature. But
yeah,
also,
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick. No, go ahead, Nick.
No. Yeah, no, well, saying we're like you said, it should be straightforward. You've been tracking stuff all year, which is what we always talk about, because if you get to the end of the year and you're finally trying to find your receipts for that business trip that you took, in the beginning of the year, it's gonna be kind of dicey for you. But where it might get tricky is if you have projects that are gonna be carrying over into the new fiscal year. Okay, how do I wrap those things up? Which contractors do I need to pay out? Some of those things could get complicated, and those are things that you need to take care of before you speak with your accountant.
No, definitely.
And then let's touch a little bit about accounts receivables as well, because I mean those are the things that can get the most dicey, because you're talking about the things that can linger over to the next year. So like if you have any projects with clients, this is a really good time for you to figure out what you have outstanding for your clients, but also what you have outstanding for maybe some of the other businesses that you've been working with as well.
Yeah. So and that goes right into our next one. Is going to be how to close out these clients and projects. So it's kind of difficult for Fresh Tech because some of our projects are don't have a closeout. Some we have some apps that we're working on consistently all the time. So for situations like that, we just open the project back up. But for like the main project, so if we have like a pitch deck with deck launch, then we can actually close that out. So trying to get everything done is what we're trying to work on at Fresh Tech and deck launch right now.
Yeah,
there's a couple of ways
that situation.
Go ahead.
Swinton.
Sorry.
Even that situation that you mentioned, there's still some things that we did. So you're still going to have like an end of year kind of meeting, like a final check-in meeting with your clients so that they know, hey, we're going on break during this round. And obviously you've gone through a schedule already, but if you're sending out cards, or there's going to be some things that you do to show that, okay, we're closing out the year and we're going to be transitional. There's going to be a break. So there's going to be something that you're going to do, to inform the client, or if you're not having a touch point with a client internally, there's going to be something you do. Say for this project, during this period, we're going to be transitioning from this fiscal year to this fiscal year. So we're going to do this A, B, and C. There's usually something that you have to do. It might not be you actually closing out the project, but there's something that needs to be done. Go ahead, Doug.
And so then, well, I mean, that was a great synopsis, Nick. And so like, there's one thing for sure that you also have to do is maybe you have prospective clients. And so that's a cool thing that we also have with deck launches. Yeah, we have some people that we're finishing up with. And we're also gonna want to circle back with our clients who have been out and about. But there's also there's some prospective clients, because every time we meet with somebody, we make sure that they have a full invoice of what the price is at that moment. And so maybe that person still has an idea if they haven't found a new vendor. So we're doing one or two things with those prospective clients that we haven't heard from in a while. Either they're A, going to find another vendor, which is cool, or B, we're sending them an email that says, hey, we're sorry we missed you this year. We can honor your invoice at this level if you shoot us a quick line before this date. If not, then the price will go up as we identify our specified prices going into the first quarter next year. And so it's another opportunity to add a couple things to your funnel by identifying those people who showed up in your sales funnel that may still be interested and just may have forgot, or maybe just didn't have the time or finances earlier in the year.
Yeah, man, I love that, Doug. And one thing that I wanted to touch on is those clients. How do you need to fire any clients for next year? Do you have some prospective clients that you need to circle back around and hit? And Doug's laughing, but I'm dead serious.
I believe I did not write down part ways. Why did you say fire?
No, I'm sorry. Part ways with clients. I like fire.
Amicable
like
split.
Fire.
Amicable split. Amicable split.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's important, because when you do your year-end closeout, this is also, and we're going to get into processes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to lead into that point, but when we're talking about closeout, you got to think about how much resources, true cost of resources that have gone into each client. So certain clients, unfortunately, are not going to be compensating you enough for the amount of resources that you put into their account. So this is at the end of your fiscal year is when you figure this stuff out, and then you either need to increase the price to get proper compensation, or you might you might need to decide whether you need to keep them as a client or not.
Yes, and I really love that because when you're talking about doing work for certain people, your cost analysis is dependent on time, a lot of time.
Yep.
So if we have a client that we're going above and beyond for, and it's taking up pretty much taking up all of our resources out, we have to make a decision internally to we have to raise that cost. We have to. We have to do something because it doesn't make sense if they may be a great client, a great ideal, a great app, or whatever it is, but if it's taken away and it's costing more money for us than it is that we're getting, especially time. Time is the most valuable part of that equation because we have run into a lot of times where we've had clients that we've had to spend way more time than we anticipated on and not get compensated for. So that's something that needs to happen, definitely. So so we talked about closing out clients. Let's talk about processes. A lot of people, a lot of businesses, have their processes. They kind of get stuck on them. We like to use this time of the year to actually, evaluate those processes. Find out any lessons learned that we've had. What can we do better? And so a lot of people just, run with the flow. Something's working and they just stick with it and never look at it. So please review those processes. See what worked and didn't work.
Yep, and to that point, Rel, it's kind of ironic that this kind of works the same way as parting ways with your clients. You can part ways with your processes. So you may find that some of the ideas that you thought were just brilliant, that were going to affect your business, might have felt good, but they didn't save you time or money, nor did they make you profit. And so they can be positive. You could make money. They could be positive, but they may not make you anything. Or cost you money. They could be negative, or they were just floating around there in the middle of nowhere and they were just irrelevant. So ultimately those outcomes, since there weren't any good outcomes or any outcomes at all for that matter, you still got to throw them out the same way you would do negative outcomes.
Yeah, definitely, man. Processes is a big one. There's tons of processes. I think we had a whole episode on processes. But
yep.
you definitely need to review those processes occasionally, just to make sure everything is working and you're getting the most out of your time. So the last one I wanted to hit on was brainstorming. This is one of my favorite ones. We're actually having a brainstorming session pretty soon with the team, and this is just us throwing up ideas everywhere. What are we doing? What can we do different? So this is going to be a great meeting. I love it because I have all the ideas, and Nick's probably going to turn down 50% of them, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
redirect, not turn down. Redirect. I'm going to redirect and strategically place them. This is a perfect time to gather ideas because now you've had all the information for the entire year, things that you guys have been gathering ideas the entire year, and so now is the time to review some of them, add to some of them, and then like I was saying, strategically putting them into practice. So turn your ideas into milestones, and then milestones. Then around your milestones, you can build projects because projects are the way those ideas are going to be realized. So this is where we decide, okay, which top 5, top 10 things we're going to do for maybe one a quarter. If we just have a target to do one, make it into one project a quarter so we can achieve the top 4 things. This is how you get to that point. First of all, put the ideas down, then develop milestones around them, and then turn them into projects so that you can then assign resources and get them done.
Yeah, and this is the best time, bringing it all the way full circle to what we talked about at the beginning. Just think about all those those concepts and opportunities and ideas that you had floating around this year that might have been shifted because of everything that we've seen. So this is a great time for you to go back and look at some of the things that you said, yeah, this wasn't gonna work because of the circumstances. To come back and say, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for this really cool idea that I had. So please don't think that any of your old ideas are ideas that started off in this during this COVID-filled year are no longer important or effective. Come back and revisit those things because you may have the blueprint for your future in 2021.
Hey, perfectly said, Doug. And I think I'm gonna let you close it out with that because that was on point. That was better than my little closeout I was gonna do. so thanks for that, Doug. But no, like I said, like I always say, we really appreciate you guys' time. We value that, and we hope you value the information that we provide. 2020 has been a great year for us. Thank you for all the followers and all the comments and everything. We started this podcast on Martin Luther King Day, and we've been going strong every week. So we're going to continue that into 2021. Might have some new things for you. We started out as a audio podcast, and pandemic happened. We had to pivot to live videos, and I just thank y'all for rocking with us. And join the Fresh Tech Tips Facebook page. Join the Fresh Tech Solutions Facebook page. Deck Launch Facebook page. Gosh. Easiest Project Management Facebook page. If you need a mobile app, contact Fresh Tech Solutions. If you need a pitch deck, call Deck Launch. You have that idea. We are here for you in 2021. Thank you, everyone, for joining Fresh Tech Tips, and we will see you guys next Monday at 12 o'clock, hopefully. We'll do better. We'll be there at 12, y'all. See y'all later.